From a home born of the Norwegian natural landscape to one that strays furthest from many Norwegian norms and traditions.
Next, we're going to Ottestad, a picturesque, charming lakeside community.
And with such typically Norwegian surroundings, we could only arrive in the traditional way.
This is the biggest lake in Norway, Piers. It's quite extraordinarily beautiful and yet somehow really quite suburban.
These elegant homes are exactly what we'd expect to find in Norway. But we're here to visit a family who dared to be different.
Solid and resolute, Concrete House stands proudly over the lake, with its facade of seemingly random openings sitting defiantly in cold grey concrete among its neighbours.
OK, what's the first adjective that springs to mind?
Harsh.
Because I think quirky.
Quirky, OK. Hospital is another word that springs to mind.
Quirky hospital.
Oh, this is lovely in here.
I'm really surprised because it wasn't love at first sight for me at all. From outside, I couldn't understand what was going on in here.
But it makes sense. And it's beautiful.
It's quite church-like in here. I'm surprised because the dimensions and the proportions are normal domestic proportions.
Except the height.
Maybe it's that. It's a sort of, cathedral-like quality.
There's something about the masonry, the heaviness of this concrete, that gives you a sense of that silence. You'd never guess from the outside, but internally, the house has a simple three-storey layout. Dug into the sloping site, the ground floor is a large guest suite with an enclosed terrace and storage. The main family spaces are raised up on the first floor with an open-plan kitchen, dining, living room and library that face the lake. There's also a TV room, a family wardrobe and a garage. Above, along with a laundry room, are 3 bedrooms organised around an open landing that looks down onto the living spaces below and to the lake outside.
This has actually made my heart beat a little faster because we're not just double height here. What I think is going to be my favourite window in the whole house. And in it, I've just got a perfect golden section of land, boats, a little bit of sky, and then that wonderful lake. I think I found my favourite place in the house.
But the windows here do so much more than just selectively framing views.
But here, there's a really eccentric window, which is just about bringing a very diffused light into the bedroom. It allows you, when you're in bed, to see the sky. There's a ventilation panel. There's a view down to where the boats are. It's a perfect study in how to make a series of openings that bring a room to life.
There's very little colour used here. Like a gallery, walls are predominantly white, but whether it's the main living spaces or just a bathroom, there's never a lack of interest.
You shower under the light. You bathe in the view. But also, it's a very textured room, which I hadn't expected. No colour, all texture.
On one hand, this is a white painted concrete box, but it's also full of joy and delight.
Piers, I've got bedrooms up here. I've got a little chap's bedroom and a little girl's bedroom. What have you got?
I've just been enjoying the multiple ways you can get around this building. Because you don't need all these staircases, but they're great.
In a place like this, it's obvious that the main living spaces should face the view and the light, making the spaces at the back harder to resolve. I never knew a simple TV room could be so pleasing.
But this carpet, of course, which wraps up and makes somewhere comfortable to sit on, also is there because it's good acoustically.
Deadens the sound.
And there's obviously some acoustic thing happening with the ceiling. But I quite like the way the telly doesn't dominate the house. You just go into a glorified cupboard.
Yeah.
This hard exterior hides an interior that is human, relaxed and informal. But back in 2005, all that was here was a dilapidated house for sale. For Tom Olav and his wife Erda, this was the opportunity of a lifetime, to be able to live by the lake. But their new house would not only dwarf what was there originally, it would also raise a few eyebrows.
This is a house that is not like its neighbours and totally unlike traditional Norwegian suburban architecture. What do your neighbours think of this house?
Well, I guess some of them, they like it, and some don't.
When I was a small boy, I always interested in minimalistic houses and minimalistic design. So this is my dream.
The architect entrusted to deliver that dream was Carl Viggo Holmebok, who was clearly not afraid to challenge convention.
You know, we built a platform here at the site before we started to draw. And then this idea started to come that maybe it would be even more interesting to mask out some different views, not to have everything all the time. So when you are inside the house, each opening is really very well thought about. It's not just a random composition of funny windows.
What do you think your favourite place in this house is?
What we love most about the house, I guess, is the ability to look at the nature and also watch the different season change. These kind of big windows were supposed to be like paintings. You picture on every wall, kind of like art.
Concrete House is a home and a gallery, where the architect has curated some of nature's finest work. Spending the day here, it's easy to see how living amongst these masterpieces is an endless joy. But then, this house is a bit of a masterpiece in itself.